what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Hey everyone, welcome into The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. This is episode 98. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. Burley, how you doing out there in Canada?
Doing good.
Yeah?
We're the humidity slowly spiking back up. We're not at the 80% yet, but we yesterday we got up to the 70s, mid 70s, and it's like, oh God, no, please don't go back to the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, that's what's going to start happening out here in Japan from tomorrow. We had a couple of nice cool days, but still high humidity, but even the temperature is going to start spiking up again from tomorrow. But anyway, Carl, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Usual here in sunny Florida.
Yeah.
Sunny, sweaty Florida.
Yeah.
Ready to get out of here.
Yeah. All right, so we got a great show for you tonight. We're going to be talking about the Switch and its worldwide sales. We're going to react to that. Burley's got some stuff to talk about Pokemon. Yeah, there was another Pokemon Presents. We're going to be talking about that. Tactics Ogre Reborn. I'm sure Carl has a little bit of things to say about that.
A little.
Just a little. We're going to be talking about that. Microsoft is now testing the Xbox Game Pass family plan. We're going to talk about that in the show as well. And our topic of the show, Sony reacts to Microsoft and the potential Activision buyout that's taking place right now. We're going to be talking about a lot of that, as well as what would Sony do if they didn't have Call of Duty to fall back on. So we're going to talk about that in our topic of the show, as well as our games of the week that are being released for August 8th through the 14th. We're going to be giving our picks of the week. So before we do all of that, and before we talk about the games that we've been playing this past week, here's a brief word about where you can find the podcast.
Before the crew discuss what they've been playing, this episode of The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast, and the post-show, when recorded, in audio and video formats, will be going to Patreon in early access for one day after being recorded. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry Tier 1 level at $1 per month, and get early access to every episode and post-show in audio and video formats, as well as watch or listen ad-free, please visit patreon.com/thearena_podcast for further details. Weekly on Sundays, the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services. Weekly on Wednesdays for the post shows when recorded, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, Spotify, Amazon Music, and in video format on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. For the audio version, just download your favorite podcast app or open Spotify and search for The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Podcast, where you can join and chat with the Arena Podcast community, and the podcast website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. For all information regarding the podcast and our entertainment and pop culture related content, along with our blog and forums, visit the official website of The Arena Productions at thearenaproductions.com. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at TheArena_podcast. Now, back to the show.
Okay, guys, I'm going to start. But before we do that, if you're watching later and you're new to our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell for future content that we put on the channel. So we really appreciate that. And we thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much. So anyway, let me go ahead and start, guys. I just have been continuing with As Dusk Falls. I'm doing a second playthrough of that. That's all I've really had time for this past week. I did download the PlayStation Plus games. but actually I already have them. Yakuza Like a Dragon I already have on Xbox. Little Nightmares I already have. I've played that before, but I decided to download it again. I might play it again later on down the road. But As Dusk Falls has been what I've been, playing again for a second run through. So, Burley, what have you been playing? I know you were playing and streaming The Quarry. How did that end up?
That ended up really well. I really enjoyed that game. We finished our first run through of it. I'm going to be doing multiple because it was a lot of fun streaming that game and having my chat do it because you get the choices every so often. So it's like basically, okay, chat, what do we think? Do we say this? Do we do this? Do we don't? So
I saw that you had a pretty big raid that came your way. I think you want to give a shout out to that person here on the show, right?
Yeah. So the other game I've been playing, I know Carl will be happy on this, was Triangle Strategy. Slowly continuing through that. But I got the massive raid on that when I was streaming that on Monday on the holiday here for us in Canada. Thank you to Stevie 11 White, partner on Twitch, raided me with over 200 something people. So it was just a massive raid. Oh yeah. And I had to I feel bad. I know some people were loving and some people were laughing at this, but because I had a lot of follows all come at once, so you have all the alerts. So and you've got so many people in your stream, so I like defaulted, thank you so and so.
Thank you so and so. Thank you so and so. Thank you so and so. Like 50 times, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, because now I've overhit the goal. I went because I started at that stream at 1396. I went to 1,453 followers, so I gained a lot.
Nice.
So I hit my new follower goal. So now I got to get some hot sauces and kill my mouth on stream.
Nice.
Did you have your people make your decisions in Project Triangle Strategy?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Anytime we go up there and you get the three choices, it's like I read them out and it was like, okay, what do we think, chat? And I give my kind of sense of what I think, and people will say either no top, middle, no bottom. So it is a lot of fun. Triangle Strategy, nice. The combat is really fun, but boy, I'm playing on normal. I'm sure as I go later in the game, I'm only on chapter 6. I might have to drop the difficulty because it gets tough.
Yeah, it's a decent challenge on normal, and like I said, New Game Plus on normal is really tough.
Okay.
So yes, and it's because they scale levels as you go. So like you start the game over, and enemies are like the max level that you are at the time. So yeah, it gets rough. Yeah, that game's cool. Oh, where did you go? The first major choice, right? You get to go to either, I forgot the name, so the Sand Nation or like the Mountain Lake Nation. Which one did you go?
I went to the mountain one. I was like, oh, you got to see your betrothed's homeland. I had someone in my chat tell me, no, you're dumb. You got to go to the other place because you get a better party member.
That is true, I would say.
Yeah, because you get I was told what they were. And I was like, you know what? You get because you're engaged to someone at the beginning of the game, so it's like, you know what? You should see their homeland.
Absolutely, yeah.
That was my kind of thought.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Burley. So, Carl, what have you been playing this past week?
I've still been playing Shadowrun Hong Kong. I really haven't put a lot more time into it. Just haven't played much of video games really this week.
Yeah.
Not putting too much time right now. I feel like maybe I'm ready to move on to something else. I like it. I still want to play it. It's just, I played the first one. Now I'm playing the third one back to back. And I'm just kind of ready for something different.
You're just waiting for Soul Hackers 2. Yeah.
I really, really am excited for that game. I hope it's what I'm looking for, because I haven't played a true, turn-based JRPG in a long time, like a new one. Right?
Yeah.
They're not that I guess Triangle Strategy, right? But that's not the same. It's turn-based JRPG, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's your strategy type, tactics type.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's time to get into our weekly news beat. So a few days ago, we got a report from Nintendo about the sales, and I'm going to go ahead and throw the link for you video viewers from Gematsu. So we're going to check that out. So the Switch worldwide sales top 111.8 million. Nintendo Switch Sports tops 4.84 million. So I'm going to read a little bit of this for you. So total of 3.43 million Switch hardware and 41.4 million software sales were sold during the 3 months that ended June 30th. And I'm going to go ahead and read off from the article here the top 10 best-selling first-party Switch titles. So I'm going to go ahead and read those. The number one, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with 46.82 million units sold.
Insane.
Number two, Animal Crossing New Horizons, 39.38 million. Number three, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 28.82 million. Number four, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, 27.14 million. Number five, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield Burly, 24.50 million. Yeah. Number six, Super Mario Odyssey, 23.93 million. Number seven, Super Mario Party, 18.06 million. Number eight, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pokemon Shining Pearl, 14.79 million. And number nine, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, 14.66 million. And rounding out the top 10, Ring Fit Adventure, 14.54 million. And then they also announced following additional sales numbers. Of course, as I mentioned before, Nintendo Switch Sports, 4.84 million. Number two, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, 4.53 million. And
Nice.
Mario Strikers Battle League, 1.91 million. So, and more than 863.59 million Switch games have been sold worldwide. So, okay, guys, what do you think of these numbers? So, yeah, I mean, that Nintendo Switch Sports, getting close to 5 million sales, but what do you guys think? Burley, I'll start with you.
I'm surprised Odyssey didn't sell more. Because that was such a I'm not the hugest Mario guy, but I picked that up just because when the reveal trailer for the Switch they showed that off, it was like, oh, this is something different, and with the capture mechanic, and then when I bought that and played that, I was like, oh, this is such a great game.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of surprised that's not taking it. Mario Kart, I'm not surprised, and Animal Crossing, I'm not surprised that those were up there at the top two positions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Carl, what do you think of these numbers?
I mean, they're incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
They just alone the Switch selling 111 million units. I mean, it's scratching that top. What's going to pass? What, Game Boy? I think. I think that's the target. Very very close to passing that.
I'm wondering if it can make. I don't think it's going to make PlayStation 2 numbers though. That's number one. It's 152 million, I think, sold.
Honestly,
worldwide.
I think it's possible.
It's possible, yeah.
And almost I would say it's likely if they do a Switch Pro, and that's sort of gonna stay the same generation and not change.
Right, for the next few years at least.
Yeah, and then I would say, there's no reason to think that it's not going to continue to sell as well. It's been selling every year and just pass that number.
Yeah.
But these games, I mean, Mario Kart makes sense. I mean, Animal Crossing, man, I cannot believe that's the second best-selling game for the entirety of the Switch. I mean, that's a franchise that went from pretty obscure, somewhat popular to ridiculous numbers.
Yeah, but that was a booming title during COVID as well.
I know.
I mean,
that game couldn't have launched at a better time. Because it launched right at the beginning of COVID. Because I picked it up because of that, and then I was like, okay, I'll finally try this series. And that game with Twitch, it just took off. so many people were into watching it, and that they keep it alive with the free updates. It's just insane how much content is in there in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that's something to be said about, the current like place we are at gaming, where, Twitch streaming and streamers in general's influence, party games, those type of things are doing doing better numbers, right? Like Animal Crossing is a good example of that. Even more like Super Mario Party, like 18 million, like that's huge for that. I don't think any of the party games sold near that much.
And that's not the good one. That's the thing. That was the first Mario Party. The other one that they released
That's
after,
not the most recent one.
No, I believe that's the first one that launched on the Switch. Just give me 2 seconds.
And then I think it's pretty interesting to see that Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl passing Let's Go Pikachu Eevee, which I think says a lot about like what Pokemon fans want. Like that like sort of easier, Let's Go thing isn't really that popular. I mean, obviously it did well enough, but
yeah, we're going to be talking about some of the features that are going to be coming to the next Pokemon, coming up here in a little bit with Scarlet and Violet. So, but
Mark trying to say something there.
Go ahead, bro.
The Super Mario Party is the 2018, and on the Pokemon Brilliant and Diamond, I think what helped it is because that was the generation that really started the Mythics Pokemon, that you could only, if you miss them, tough shit, you're gone. They're gone. You got to trade and hope someone gives you one. So that game had a couple of the mythics you could get really early on when the game came out. So that helped sell it because there's so many people that are into getting the living decks, getting every Pokemon. So, and there's a lot that were quite a few in there that was like, this is your best, easiest chance to get it. So pick this up.
Yeah.
And then the new stuff, I mean, you could, Switch Sports we talked about as far as what we thought it would do. And like, it hasn't even hit 5 million at this point. And I think that's not great for where it's at. It's not, obviously, by the standards of many games, these numbers are still really good, right? Like 4.8 million, 4.5 billion for Kirby are great. But when you look at it as the piece of the pie for how many Switches are out there, these are actually pretty low numbers for that.
Yeah, but I think of that 4.84 million, Carl. I think probably at least 3.5 million of that at least probably are out here in Japan. So possible, but
So I mean,
and Mario Kart 8 is still huge out here with the kids. I mean, kids out here in Japan, they love to play Mario Kart. So.
That's the number
they
one.
just released DLC for that game. Like the second wave of it just came out like earlier this week, and it was just like they released, because that game came out on the Wii U. They released new DLC for it on the Switch.
Yeah, and Ring Fit Adventures, that's also surprising how high it is. I mean, number 10, 14 million. Wild. But I mean, it goes to show you that you make something unique like that, a fitness type product. Switch Sports is a similar thing. And you make a full-fledged interesting game out of it, you can do really well. And that's where I criticize Switch Sports looking at it going in. It's like, it's not really a full-fledged like package. It seemed very small. And if they did the full experience, like Ring Fit Adventure, which looks like a game like I would just kind of want to play because it looks like a cool, sort of RPG as adventure that's also a fitness thing, whereas Switch Sports is just doesn't seem like there's much to it.
Ring Fit's a lot of fun. I did pick it up on sale. Lately I haven't had as much time to put into playing the game, but it is a lot of fun just sitting there. I can play, like 20 minutes before work. I can just sit, get a small little workout done, or do it on my lunch. Just at any time, just be able to pick up, play, and do a little small workout session. Like you can play the story, or you can do the different activities that you can do in the game, like squats and stuff like that. You have it, so it's a nice little thing of just easy access if you want You can have a little story. I using quotations, or just get some quick exercise in.
So where do we think Switch is going, huh? When are we getting that upgraded model?
Probably next year, whether it's the summer or the fall. I don't think it's going to come in
With
the
the
spring.
launch,
Yeah,
with the launch of Breath of the Wild 2.
yeah.
I think that's going to be your.
Yeah. That's a safe bet, I think. So,
and I think it's pretty safe that they're not going to do like a Switch 2 at this point for a long time.
no,
this will just be like like some sort of somewhat upgrade. And I want one, to be honest, because I have a Switch Lite, and I mean, it's pretty much the same experience as a regular Switch in handheld form.
In handheld, right?
Right. I would like to have tried to play some of the games I have on the big screen.
Yeah.
But I know, and we'll talk about this when we get to Pokemon more, that these games don't look great on a big screen TV. So like I would love to get some sort of version that can give me at least just higher resolutions. I don't need you to go like, current gen. I just don't want my games to look like, jaggy and low res.
You don't need 8K Switch games?
Absolutely not. No. I need 12K.
8K Switch games, it'll probably be like 2040 before we get stuff like that. But anyway. All right,
40. You're more like 2060. You're thinking.
Well, I'm being optimistic, of course. But okay, so let's go ahead and move on. So it's time to talk about Pokemon, and of course, Pokemon Presents. We had a Pokemon Presents this last week, and the link to everything that was discussed is below for all you video viewers. So from thesun.com over in UK. So. Burley, take it away, man. So there was a lot of stuff that they talked about, Scarlet and Violet a lot, but they talked about some other things too. So I'll let you go ahead and talk about what they mentioned. Go ahead.
Alrighty. So they started off with letting us know that the World Championship for the card game is, as well as Pokken and the main series battles, is going on. It's going to take place in London from August 18th to the 21st, and showing off some of the jackets and prizes.
Right.
So then we're getting a new Pokemon Go Fest finale that'll be held in Sapporo, but players can take place. Sapporo. Can take place anywhere from the world. It'll be possible to catch Shaman during this event, and a number of Ultra Beasts will appear. Ultra Beasts appeared in Sun and Moon, so Gen 7. Shaman is one of those mythic legendaries. I think it was Gen 5 Shaman was, where Shaman Black and White first appeared. So, cool for people to go catch and people to go outside.
Nice.
And also some stuff for Pokemon Unite. A Pika party will take place on the when they did the announcement on Wednesday. During the Pika party, all Pokemon in the field will turn into Pikachu, including the Gigamax form, which was from Sword and Shield. Buzzwole will also be added to the game today. He's an all-rounder with the Beast Boost ability. For those that don't know, Pokemon Unite is the basically League of Legends Pokemon. Easiest way for me to put it. I tried it, but I'm not into like league style gameplay.
MOBAs.
Yeah, especially playing them on my phone, because it first launched on the phone, the beta, and then like 3 or 4 months later, then we'll put it on the Switch, which was real smart. Real smart.
But it's made for mobile, kind of like, probably, I'm sure, right? Like League Wild Rift. It's just like a sort of light version.
It is, but at the same time, like when I tried it when it first came to Switch, it was like, oh, this is much better to play this with my controller instead of just sitting there with touch controls and stuff.
I liked League. I played that with friends a while back. Yeah. Probably one of the last games I played, like multiplayer, and it's a good experience. It's fun.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Carl played a game multiplayer.
I know. I tell you, this is many years ago. So. many years.
Okay. Then we got some updates for Pokemon Masters EX and Pokemon Cafe Remix. The Trainer Lodge will come to Masters EX August for the 3rd anniversary. Mewtwo will return to Cafe Remix and can join your staff if you complete the 1 minute challenge mode. And also Latios is joining the cafe today, and Latios will be joining later. And this special event today to help you obtain Victini and Latios in Pokemon Cafe. So 2 legendaries. And then here's the big news, the stuff that we really
The main
really
event.
want.
Yeah.
Yes, the main event, the stuff I actually cared about.
Mhm.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, so Generation 9. They were announced. The region is Palda. Is the region, so it's taking cues from the Arceus with the old open world, which is nice. The legendary Pokemon that are on the box, Cordon and Miradon. I'm sure I butchered them. You can use them to travel by land, sea, and air. So by as a bike, a paraglider, and just them traveling on water as some device. This was just something. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, "What the hell?" Like,
It is ridiculous looking.
but this is the thing. I do like these much better than HMs, and just writing Pokemon is something I do like. This was one of the things in Gen 7 I actually really applaud them, is they did the ride Pokemon. So you do have different academies depending on which version you go with, which is neat. So I wonder how the academies differ. Probably not too much, knowing because they don't change too much between the games usually.
So, Burley, I have a question for you. How do you think this is going to go down, since this Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are going to be more open world like Pokemon Legends Arceus? I mean, how is this going to play with most Pokemon gamers out there? Is this going to be something that they really want?
I think there's stuff in here people are going to want, like seeing the Pokemon in wild there. Love that, because we've all of us have been hating okay, let's go in grass. Fuck, I've seen Oddish and Pidgey the same freaking time. I want something else. This way I can see on the map what's my encounter, so I can figure out what do I want to go run and catch. Which is nice. But they're really pushing different modes. They're saying, like, at the end of this, they were like, the normal 8 badges and Victory Road. That's just like one of 3 paths. There's like a treasure hunt and other paths. So this is going to be interesting, because that's one thing with post-game content for Pokemon. Yeah, I kind of just get bored because of I don't care about catching every Mon. I start to do it for a while, and then it's just like I could put time into like 5 other games. Oh, Wooper, one of my favorites.
Oh, it's Brown Wooper.
Yes.
I was laughing at that. They're like, oh, it's just his Paldea form. Like, he's just brown. He's barely any different.
Well, he's poison type now. He's poison type. Water.
Okay, yeah. He better be a new type.
Yeah. Well, they've been doing this a lot, changing the Pokemon, some of the past Pokemon for different generations, and in new generations changing their typings and stuff like that.
Yeah, the regional. I always loved those, like the new regional versions, but they were often much more different looking. Like there was like a Meowth, right? And the other one, the regional Meowth, who looked like completely different.
Oh, the Alolan, where he is dark type and he looks in Gen 7 and he looks quite different.
Yeah, I was like, why did you think it's so similar? Like, all right,
yeah, that's something I don't get why they do that. They do need to change them and make them a little more Mystique. And then this is at the end showing you the whole crystal thing, the Terra style. So this is our new Mega. This is our new Gigamax, Dynamax thing. And yeah, they say it changing typing and stuff. It's neat, but it's like, this is something I kind of grew annoyed with Pokemon, because like Gen 6, Mega Evolution if you just wanted to play the story, it makes Pokemon really easy. Like, seriously, if you have a decent Pokemon that has a decent Mega Evolution, you just Mega Evolve and you can sweep a team because of the stat bonuses you're going to get.
Yeah. See, this thing here, I look at this and like, all right, this is this gen's like Gigantamax, right?
Yeah.
And it's not as cool visually, in my opinion. Like, the giant thing was weird, but then like when you had one of the Pokemon that had the unique forms, there was a different name I remember, but whatever it was, those looked really awesome. I love those. And then in this, visually, like they get crystally looking, and then it looks like there's just a general type ad. So like if you're fire, you get the candles, right? If you're normal, you get the crystal. Flying, you get the balloons. You know, everyone's getting the same thing. And I get for simplicity, you know, for visually, it's easier to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Burley, I was going to ask you for the Terra raid battles here.
See right there.
They're saying,
every one of them.
Yeah, they're saying that they're no longer going to be turn-based. How do you feel about that?
Well, you can make your turns go. Like, I don't have to wait. If I was playing this with you guys, if I wanted to heal or get my attack ready to go, I don't have to wait on Carl to you two to do your actions and stuff like that, which I love. Because I did like the raid battles in the beginning, what you had at the beginning of Gen 8, and then the DLC, the raid adventures that you got in the second DLC for Gen 8 Sword and Shield. Loved that. Like, I probably streamed that for about 15 to 20 hours, and just having with two of my regulars in chat, and then whoever the fourth slot we left open for anyone in chat that wanted to join us. It was just a lot of fun. So sitting there, I could see myself doing these raid dungeons a lot, just in chat, just having a lot of fun. I wouldn't recommend doing them with AI for the higher tiers, because the AI in these games is pretty garbage. Not gonna lie, because I've had the best ever is like I did one, and I was doing I think it was like against a Gyarados, and one of the other Pokemon that the AI came in with was like with a Magikarp. And if you know anything about Magikarp, all it knows is Splash. You may get lucky to know Tackle if you've reached a high enough level, and Tackle does nothing for damage. So it was literally just sitting there wasting time.
So I wanted to, what do I say good about this? That terrestrialize, however you say it. Yeah. As a game mechanic, I think that's really good. I like the idea of it, that you can like, all right, I can power up this Pokemon and he can get a different type that could now make this Pokemon useful in different ways than before. And it seems like there'd be a lot of good strategy ways to utilize that. It's just the visually, I'm like, I'm not really thrilled with the way that looks visually, but it is what it is. Like, it does make a lot of sense for combat and strategy.
Well,
I do want to, sorry, go ahead, Burley.
I was going to say, them showing you using it so much now gives me, because in Sword and Shield, the last Pokemon of every gym leader, was the whole Dynamax, and then Gigamax, Gigantamax, or however you say it, these special ones. So that's all. So I know that's what's going to take with the gym leaders, and it's like.
But here it's different, because if you remember in that, you could only do that in those special scenarios.
True.
And then the raids thing, right? But this looks like you could do it any battle. So I think that extends the strategy of it.
True. It does extend the strategy, but I know from how they've built their gyms over the last how many generations, the last gym leaders Pokemon in any of these gym leaders, that's what they're going to do first turn, transform, which like I get it, but at the same time, it's like I'm kind of done with these gimmicks in the battles for Pokemon. I want it to be about my moves and my typing and strategize with that, instead of oh, my Pokemon has this special transformation because of this. And the problem is Pokemon never goes consistent. Megas were introduced to Gen 6. Megas, they added some Megas in Gen 7, but added Z moves to counter Megas. And then Gen 8, Z moves and Megas are gone. It's the Dynamax. Just pick one thing and stay consistent with it and add to it instead of making a new thing every generation.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's fine. It's going to be predictable probably with some of the gym leaders. Like, this guy uses flying types, and then he's going to throw out a Pikachu at the end. And be like, but what? And then he's going to terrorize whatever him, and now he's a flying type. I'm like, obviously, yes, we saw that coming, But I don't know. I want to say, visually speaking, if you want to comment about this game, like, I mean, even watching it here on this screen, but especially on my 55-inch 4K TV, I mean, it looks bad. Like, this you can see how low res the textures are. You can see how low res the game itself is. It's jaggies in the distance and so pretty much everywhere. I mean, I can't believe that they're still at that level.
Well, my thing is, why is this coming out this year? You've had beginning of the year, you had Arceus. I know Arceus was divisive to people, but Arceus, you had that out at the beginning of end of January. It was like you got that out. You had Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, the Gen 4 remakes in November, and then you've had all these other Pokemon games in between. It's just like you are really saturating the market. I think this should have just came for next year, and this should have been like for the next Switch device to up the graphics, make it a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, out here in Japan, though, it's a cash cow, and it comes out like in November every year, pretty much, and right before Christmas. That's what Nintendo is thinking about. They got to get it out every year. It's almost like we're going to be talking about Call of Duty every year. We're going to be talking about Call of Duty. Call of Duty, they have to have one come out every year. So Nintendo is thinking the same thing when it comes to Pokemon. It's like the Japanese kids are just yearning for it. There is a Pokemon movie every year in Japan. Every summer it comes out. It's like it's a cash cow for Nintendo, and it's a cash cow for Pokemon in general.
Pokemon's a worldwide phenomenon. Like, I'm a huge Pokemon fan, and my channel, that is, I have to say, it's like my bread and butter. That's what a lot of people go to, and hey, I've booked off for when this game comes out because that's what I've done with the last couple Pokemon games, and it has benefited me well. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, and I get you, Carl. I get you on the visual point. But it's like,
I mean, it is what it is with the Switch right now.
Right, right. I mean, but it's like you and I, we can think about the visual stuff, but these fourth grade elementary school kids, they don't care about that.
I guess that's true. But the thing is, like, I see indie games that look obviously way better, but also even lower end indie games that still look better because they're not using low resolution textures and graphics or visuals, or just they're not outputting at that low of a resolution, so they need to obviously do a little better because it would look worse if you did. So but actually, Burley, I wanted to ask you, so looking at this now, seeing more of the game, comparing it to Arceus and which was completely open, and then previous Sword and Shield, which had the open world areas. Do you think that this game is going to have your sort of older style, like, designed routes in any way, or dungeons in any way, or is it just going to be like, Arceus now?
I think it's going to be more like Arceus, but you're still going to get you're going to get your dungeons, but like your open world caves, kind of stuff like that. The traditional, I'm sure they'll have like little smaller routes that aren't that big, but I'm hoping they're a little bit better than, because one of the criticisms with Sword and Shield was that a lot of the routes were just a small straight line.
They were.
It like
And they'll-
your Final Fantasy 13 dungeons of just walk straight in the odd small path.
And then you'll have your little Easter egg in the cave, where kind of like that one gamer that found in Nier Automata. It was like it took like 5 years to find it or something like that. Yeah, like there was some kind of door, you know.
Oh,
yeah.
I kind of feel that this is sort of a lazier way to do things. And Sword and Shield, you can see that there wasn't maybe it was a time constraint, that those routes were very simple.
Yeah.
Not that Pokemon ever had like super complex, routes, but I felt like there was more to them in the older games.
Yeah.
And maybe, it's like, another way to save money is like, we can make this big open area that doesn't have a lot of like fine-tuned design, because there's probably amount of procedural generation to making that terrain, right? That's usually how they do stuff like that, in those big open areas. And then they'll just place things in certain spaces. But like, I don't know. That's just modern game design now, right? Everything's these like sort of vaster open areas that have less individualized design.
Yeah. All right, let's move on, guys. And Carl, this one, I know you have some things to say about this. This game, it's been around for a long time. The first one came out in like 1995. Tactics Ogre.
Super Nintendo.
Yeah. So coming November 11th to PC exclusively for Steam, PlayStation, and Nintendo, but not Xbox. So Square Enix, of course, they've been in the news a lot lately. Of course, they were talking about Crystal Dynamics and Deus Ex and all, and how it came to affected their sales and all. But now we get this with Tactics Ogre Reborn, which is coming out. Just another example of Square Enix just surpassing Xbox. Whether it's on the Xbox Game Studio side, not putting enough pressure on Square Enix to get it onto the Xbox platform, or if it's something that just Square Enix, just has something against Xbox and doesn't want to put it on there. I don't know. So, Carl, I'm going to let you go off on this because I know you have some things to say about it. What do you think it is? I'll throw the question at you before you start. For Square Enix, what is, in your mind, why are they keeping this off of Xbox?
It has to be resources of some sort that we just aren't privy to, because there's really no reason at this point. Because it's just like they pick and choose random things. So Crisis Core they announced, and like that's coming to Xbox. But this one won't. Like it doesn't make sense that all of these, it seems like a lot of the smaller titles and the more, I don't know, maybe because they're more tactical and more turn-based JRPGs, they're like, oh, we don't necessarily need to put those on Xbox. But I don't know if they're even making that a decision that way, so much as like the resource of like, it's just another port to Xbox One, which includes Series S and X versions. And even the one might have, I don't know if they're probably not, but maybe they're still doing 1X or, who knows what. And speccing out, because, there was also that tiny little difference between the original one and the 1S. Yeah. Not that they necessarily have to do a lot of work for that, but who knows? Maybe it's all of that they're like, you know what? Like, it's not worth it for this game. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of it. It's really annoying because I think you would get your money back on if maybe not on each individual title, but if you did it on all of them, in general, overall, you would probably bring in the money. Mm-hmm. As far as this game goes, I mean, look, Tactics Ogre was a great game. This looks like a really cool version of it, with the exception of the visuals. I think in combat, like your character models look kind of awful. Like they're very, they're like smoothed over, like they use one of those like emulator filters or something, on the sprites, and they don't look good, but everything else looks great. So I mean, this is a great game. If you haven't played it, you should definitely try it.
Right.
What else is there to say really at this point?
Well, let's switch over to Burley. Burley, what are your thoughts on this? And what are your thoughts on Square Enix bringing this only exclusively to Steam and to PlayStation and Nintendo?
Nani. I have to open with that because Square is just weird. They released just go first. They released Octopath, Switch exclusive. Then we're gonna go to Xbox. Okay, you're gonna go to PlayStation? No. Like what?
Yeah.
Like are you just dumb? Like, okay, you're gonna keep it. Like I got it that it was a Switch exclusive and understand I bought it for the Switch day one and all that.
Yeah.
But it's like, why they are so weird with putting yourself on platforms.
Yeah.
They are a little more harsher to Xbox with just not putting stuff, which I don't get. It's like you put the Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 2, the 13 trilogy on the Xbox and on Game Pass. You're gonna tell me you're not gonna put Tactics Ogre on there? Why not?
Yeah.
Why? Like
just like Frontier games, they're not going there.
Oh, and Carl, one thing for you here that you'll probably like: there will be Japanese and English voicing in this game. So
wow,
there will be an English track with it.
That's good. There better be.
I kind of hope.
Yeah, especially if it's going to be sold out in the West. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but let me just go ahead and from the article, which you can check out below there for all of you video viewers, I'll just go through some of the things that are new in Tactics Ogre Reborn. A high definition characters and backgrounds. Characters and backgrounds have been recreated in high definition, preserving the detailed pixel art of the original to look good on HD screen. So yeah, Carl, you can.
They did on the backgrounds, yes, not on the characters.
Yeah, you can. Go ahead, Burley. Yeah.
I said this game looks like, if I don't know if either of you have seen it or played it, the version of Final Fantasy Tactics that they put to the PSP, the War of the Lions. This looks straight ripped from there, but just like HDified, which now makes me want, hey, Square, if you're just going to be remaking and porting stuff, put that on the PlayStation, Xbox, and everything. Please.
Yeah, I actually, interestingly, recently I looked into the differences between those versions, the original PlayStation Final Fantasy Tactics, and the PSP one, and there's problems with the PSP one.
Yeah,
there's some visual problems. There's some slowdown problems.
Yeah,
so like actually that original version on the PlayStation is probably the better one. But anyway.
And they say there's a fully updated user interface, and the sound improvements, of course, as I said before, English and Japanese voices. And Sakimoto Hitoshi, the composer, also recorded the entire soundtrack with a live orchestra. So, then redesigned battle system, unit by unit leveling system, battle AI overhaul, as well as playability improvements like autosave, quicker pace in battle, new controls. They're just a few of the improvements that they talk about. So. Yeah, but so it's coming November 11th. So maybe Carl, that'll be something on your radar in November. Maybe.
I'm gonna skip it. I'll tell you for a couple. Obviously, it's not an Xbox. That annoys me, but it's not just that. I'm gonna have too many other things to play at the time. And I've already played this game, so it's okay. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, if you've already played it, yeah. So, but you could play it on PlayStation. You can play it on PlayStation 4.
I could play it on my
PC,
Switch. Yeah, I could play it on. I have many places I could play. I could buy this game if I really wanted to.
Yeah. So maybe that's what they were thinking. Well, everybody's got a Switch. Everybody's got a PlayStation. They could play it on one of those, I guess.
Which is true. I would choose to buy it on Xbox if I was going to buy it anywhere. Just that's me. But okay. Did you got Burley? You want to say something? Let's go ahead.
I was going to say, this does make me, I've never played Tactics Ogre. It makes me want to try the game. I'm not going to pick it up when it comes out because I'll be honest, that's 2 days after God of War Ragnarok. I got Pokemon and we already have October's cramped. So I've got enough games I'll be picking up in that time frame. I'll eventually come back to this and see how well this comes out and see if it's worth and see what people have to say, or if Carl just tells me no, play the original instead.
Yeah. All right. So, it's not one of our stories, but I wanted to bring up you guys saw the information that Square had in a conference call recently, like a sort of earnings type call.
Yeah, pertaining to Crystal Dynamics and to Eidos.
Selling that off was part of like a phase 1, and there's a phase 2 of changes to the company.
Mm-hmm.
And that phase 2 is about diversifying studio capital structure, and that it looks like they want to sell stakes in some of their individual Japanese studios, so that they can bring in more money and have more flexibility to work on more projects, which kind of tells you a lot about where they are. And maybe this is why, like I said, it's about resources, and why they just can't, monetarily, I don't know why they just we have to cut corners, and Xbox gets cut a lot. And that might not be true as Xbox grows, as long as someone like Sony, let's say, doesn't buy them outright. Which, based on what we're reading here, it doesn't sound like they want to sell outright if they're trying to sell stakes. And when I see this as an opportunity that I really would hope Microsoft would get into and invest a stake into Square and some of these developers, because for one, that would be good just in general for the Japanese side of Xbox to be like, we're investing in a prominent Japanese company. We're not trying to buy them. We're going to invest some sort of stake, some sort of minority stake.
And that instills better trust between the Japanese companies and with Microsoft. In that case.
Exactly. Yeah. Because they, obviously they say Tencent's interested in Sony, and of course those are obvious, but Microsoft, I think, would make sense. Also get them in the door so they can have more conversations, and maybe this would just help them to be able to push to get these games on the platform. Yeah.
Well, there's another story that we're not covering in this episode, but it was also, discussed this week about Tencent, that they're trying to buy out Ubisoft now. So
they want a stake in.
They would increase their stake.
They want to increase their stake, which means they would be the majority stakeholders. Yeah. So
I don't know if it was going to be majority, but that's something that could happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were in some kind of discussions with the Guillemot family. So,
the way it's phrased, you never know, right? But if they're trying to discuss it, they're not trying to do a hostile takeover, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they are just trying to we're interested, but maybe they don't want to sell to them. So they're like, all right, well, maybe we'll try to get more stake. But
Vivaldi a while back was trying to hostily take over Ubisoft, and
Vivendi,
that didn't work. I'm sorry, Vivendi.
Yes,
Vivendi, and that didn't work out. So Ubisoft is kind of they've been reluctant to get bought out by anybody. So,
which I understand.
Yep. All right. So speaking of Microsoft, let's go ahead and move on to our next story. So Microsoft is now testing their Xbox Game Pass family plan. So it's only in a few areas of the world right now. So the link to the article is below. But Microsoft has started to test this Xbox Game Pass family plan that allows subscribers to share their benefits with other people. But right now it's only in Colombia and Ireland. So for the Xbox Insider program. But I don't know, guys, when do you think we'll be able to get that out here, or out where you guys are out in the States and in Canada, and for us out here in Japan? Probably here in Japan, it's going to take a lot longer, but when do you think we'll probably see this in the US and Canada? Carl, I'll start with you.
Well, if they're testing it right now, I wouldn't be surprised if it's out by the end of the year. You're gonna want it out for the holidays,
Yeah.
I can't see why it wouldn't come to Japan too early as well. I mean, there isn't really. I feel like all this that really needs to happen
Well,
is
it
for them
might.
to just make sure the functionality works properly.
Right. I mean, it might not be as long as it took for Game Pass to be implemented here, but I mean, it like instead of months, it could be weeks.
Yeah, there
So,
could be
yeah.
a small gap in between, right?
Yeah.
The regions, but I don't see why, like, once they've tested it and they know, like, all right, like the system works properly, it's not easy to be like exploited or scanned or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Then they can just roll it out to every region that has Game Pass. Like they should.
Yeah, so basically what they're saying is like 4 different people can be put on this plan. Like 4 different family members or what. Yeah, so 4 members.
Yeah, the wording says you can add up to 4, which
Up
implies
to 4.
5
Right. Yeah.
total, right?
Yeah.
Because the original
Right.
plus 4, I assume, I think that's what
Right.
it's implying.
Right. I think that's implying. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, how much more do you think this would be? I mean, would this be like a higher tier than Ultimate, or would this be like consolidated with Ultimate? I mean, that's a question that I guess a lot of people
Well,
probably have.
there's pricing out there, information like already in that. I think is in the UK. It was like 22 a month.
Okay, so higher,
which
tier,
is people assuming that, and based on other information as well, there was a conversion that they said it looks like it's 20. It's going to be 25 a month.
I see. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Which is lower than I expected, and that's very reasonable. It's actually incredibly good if it can be utilized in a way that like 5 people, friends, or even less want to share it and just split the cost. I mean, that's great. You could get a great value there.
Right. Burley, how do you feel? Go ahead. I was going to say, how do you feel about this and being out there in Canada?
I would love this. Like, this is something I've wanted, because like this is something Nintendo actually has done right, is that you can have your Switch membership to a family. And that's what I've done with my Switch for the last couple of years. Me and a bunch of buddies go in. It costs us less to buy that way than buying us each buying our own membership. Because like if we each bought because it's 3 of us in it right now. If we each bought our membership, it'd be like 20 something each a person. For the together, it's like $40. So it's cheaper for all 3 of us individual, just for one person to buy it and the other 2 just give money back. So it's the cost to everyone's cheaper. This I'm very interested, because I've got 1 or 2 of my buddies that have been wanting to do this, and they're like, I don't want to pay like I don't want to pay the $19 here a month just for me. It's like, you know what? We can do this as a family, and you can get it for 25 American, so like $29.99 here in Canada. You can get it too. Great. If I can have multiple people, because then it can cut the cost down for me, because I'd just be like, okay, I'm the one paying for it. You're on my family plan. You kick back X to me, and then Game Pass is cheaper for me.
Yeah. Do you think that this family plan could be the killer of games with gold? For example, you get rid of paying for multiplayer, and then that's part of the family plan. What do you guys think?
I mean, they should.
Yeah.
How long have we been saying they should just kill games with gold?
Yeah.
I think since like episode 3 of the podcast.
Yeah. So I mean, and just check. Okay. So here, this confirmed what I was just going to ask was, it says share Game Pass Ultimate benefits. I wasn't sure if it was Ultimate or not.
Okay.
So yes.
Yeah.
I mean, all of this will help lead to that inevitable future, I believe, of gold completely going away, and even the pay anything to play online thing, because it just doesn't make any sense anymore for a lot of reasons. One particular being that like free to play games don't require you to have any of these services.
Yeah.
And that is almost probably the majority of online, gaming traffic right now. It's like, you're telling me that you can allow all these Apex and Fortnite players to play and pay nothing potentially
Fall
pay
Guys.
nothing at all. Fall Guys, right?
Yeah.
To use your online services. But if I buy any smaller game, let's say Dragon Ball Fighters, right, and want to play that online, now I have to pay to play that online. That makes no sense at all. I paid money to buy that game to play it, and now I have to pay more to play it online. But somebody who pays $0 at all for a game can play it online for nothing.
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
No, not at all. Okay, guys, you ready for the topic of the show? Let's go ahead and get to it. So obviously I'm wearing my PlayStation hat because I wanted to have fun with that, because we're going to have fun talking about PlayStation and Xbox when it comes to Call of Duty. You know, because right now Microsoft is still in the acquisition phase, and it's still going through the FTC and everything. And I mean, Sony, of course, they came out, saying that, Microsoft's acquisition would have, of course, particular ramifications to the PlayStation ecosystem of people buying consoles. Because if Microsoft gets it and they, of course, make it exclusive to Xbox, then that'll get more people running over to Xbox, and they'll lose money from that. And of course, Microsoft this week has also been downplaying that, arguing that, they're basically not must-have games when it comes to Call of Duty. And Sony was pushing back, saying that the Call of Duty games are essential. So I don't know, guys. But I mean, the topic is basically, if you are in PlayStation shoes. Now, obviously, Microsoft has said that they are not going to make Call of Duty exclusive. They're not going to take it off of other platforms. That's what they're saying at the moment. But then again, of course, you had the Bethesda deal, and now you're starting to see some of those Bethesda games. They're jumping all onto Game Pass. And probably, of course, Starfield is going to be exclusive to Xbox. The Elder Scrolls, when it comes out in the future, will probably most definitely be exclusive to Xbox. So who is to say in the future, after all of the existing deals are done, Call of Duty is exclusive to Xbox? So if you were a PlayStation, if you were running PlayStation, what would your move be to counter Call of Duty not being on your platform anymore? So, Carl, I'll start with you on this, because obviously you're the biggest Xbox guy of all of us here, and being the fact that Call of Duty is going to be huge on Game Pass probably from next year, and then in the future maybe it will be, or maybe there will be what Sony did when it came to for example, parts of the game that are exclusive, like maybe some of the multiplayer packages or whatever that were exclusive to PlayStation. Maybe they're going to make that exclusive to Xbox only, instead of, taking the game entirely away from PlayStation. But let's just think about, if you were running PlayStation and you're not going to get Call of Duty anymore. How do you survive this?
Yeah.
How do you counter not having Call of Duty on your platform anymore?
Yeah. I mean, in this hypothetical situation, because
of
Microsoft
course it's a hypothetical. Yeah.
Has said that they're going to keep it multi-platform, and I believe that they will. What would they do, right? Well,
yeah.
I mean, the answer is pretty obvious, because they just bought. Why am I forgetting the name of them already?
Bungie,
right? They bought Bungie, and Bungie has Destiny 2, which is obviously a first-person shooter. Not exactly the same in that it's more of a service thing. It's its own, sort of unique style. But they have a new game that they're working on. We know.
Yeah.
And if Call of Duty went exclusive, there's no reason to say that, PlayStation can't change their mind and say, yeah, this Bungie game's going to be exclusive. And there you go. But do they need to? Do they have to? Let's say Call of Duty was completely gone.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't need to have a direct rival to it because those things already exist. I mean, Apex Legends exists, you know, Fortnite exists, you know, Grand Theft Auto Online exists. Like these are all things that are competing in a similar, if not exact, space.
Mm-hmm. Burley, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Carl, but Call of Duty on PlayStation just makes so much money with because like there's always the exclusive. They get the beta first. They get for a while it was the maps come out first on PlayStation, and then 2 to 3 weeks later, it then comes to Xbox and PC and the other platforms. Like Call of Duty is huge on PlayStation. I think Microsoft's not going to take it away because that would be absolutely dumb of them because the amount of money it makes on all the platforms, you want to keep that out there to get because you paid a lot for Activision. You want to recoup that cost, just keep Call of Duty on everything. You can do exclusive content for Xbox if you want. But as for if I was Sony, you know what? You do have the Bungie angle, but you know who else you have? Blue Point. You know what? They can bring back some of because Sony did have their own shooters for a while. You had your Resistant, you had your Killzone. You could do a remaster of one of the good Killzone games. I've not really played the Killzone games, but you could do a remaster of that. But the big really focusing on the multiplayer and stuff like that, just coming out of the gate. Plus, there is that Canadian studio they bought out in Montreal. I can't remember the name. They're wanting to do that big multiplayer kind of like Destiny MMO RPG shoot with shooter elements. You've got that, so you have those.
Yeah. Oh, is it the Jade Raymond one? Is that one? Because
yeah.
They said they're doing like an online shooter thing, and I was like, oh, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Hey, Carl, wasn't it during the Xbox 360 days, DLC for Call of Duty came exclusively to Xbox first?
They had the same sort of thing. Yeah, it was Xbox had the marketing and the little extra whatever nonsense they were doing.
And then it shifted over.
Yeah. So, I think all that ramped up actually as far as like content wise more on when PlayStation had it on PS4 generation because I don't remember a lot of that stuff on 360. There was like smaller things that existed. Yeah. They really ramped it up because
on the 360, for what I remember, because like my dad was big on the 360 in the early PS4 days of Call of Duty, it was like skins, and I think it was like I forget for one of the either the first or second Black Ops game, there was an exclusive map, but it didn't stay exclusive for very long.
Yeah, because I remember the
public outcry.
Yeah. So I remember the big deal, and there's probably outcry for that. And then there was a big deal when PlayStation, whichever one it was, had like an exclusive mode, like game mode on one of the Call of Duty games that was exclusive for a year. And it was like, well, then no one will ever play it on the other platform because they'll just be playing the next COD next year. You know?
Well, I think wasn't it? I might be misremembering this, but I think like. No, the remake of the first Modern Warfare was PlayStation exclusive for months. That was
right. Like briefly.
Yeah.
I
don't remember how long it was, but it was a few months. I remember that. So like, Sony had those kind of deals. I know they're kind of shaking in their boots, but I don't think they need to worry as much on this. And if your whole console business is surrounded just by Call of Duty, you need to re-strategize.
Yeah. And the truth is that it isn't. Like, we know it's not.
No.
I mean, yes, those games are the highest selling games, even on that platform.
Yeah.
You know, but and like we said, they're not going away. But even if they weren't there, I mean, PlayStation's not going to suddenly like go out of business.
No. Yeah.
They're just
But
gonna buy all the games.
they would most likely go nuclear when it comes to the Japanese based games. They would probably try to prevent anything from Microsoft getting hold of Final Fantasy and a lot of the other JRPG games that are out here.
I'm
man.
sure they
Yeah.
do with FF7 remake. That
They
I'm
would
sure
just go
so-
nuclear if Microsoft were to take Call of Duty away from PlayStation. PlayStation would go nuclear on the Japanese side when it comes to trying to keep as much away from Microsoft as possible, or even trying to buy, like studios and publishing companies, say like a Square Enix or like a even a Sega or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I'll just say one thing. This isn't Call of Duty related, but I remember, Carl, especially during the PlayStation 4 era. Of course, I'm a big Tomb Raider fan. And back in the PlayStation 4 era, obviously, I played most of my games on PlayStation at that time. Of course, I had an Xbox One, but I played a lot of my games on PlayStation. And seeing that the Tomb Raider game, I think it was Rise of the Tomb Raider. It was the second Tomb Raider game. Yeah, that Xbox got the 1-year exclusivity deal on that from Crystal Dynamics. And boy, I mean, a lot of PlayStation people were pissed off at that, so yeah, I mean, for Sony's sake and PlayStation, I really hope that they continue to get Call of Duty. I hope everybody can get Call of Duty. I mean, the Nintendo's a different story, but on PC, on PlayStation, on Xbox, I mean, it's just holding games away from others. I think it's garbage, but. It's a business. Yeah, will Microsoft probably keep some things exclusive? Yes, but I don't think Microsoft is going to completely take it away. But then again, I mean, you look at games like Starfield, you look at games like Elder Scrolls, those in the future, who knows? I mean, we know Starfield is not going to come to PlayStation,
Right.
So yeah, we shall see. But yeah, if that were to happen, I think Sony would just say, okay, all right, we're going to try to take as much of the Japanese market away from Microsoft as possible, and that's just, a no-win situation for all gamers.
Yeah. I mean, Sony is, yeah.
I was gonna say Sony's. We already know Sony technically is doing that because with like Final Fantasy VII Remake, that's only on PlayStation and PC. Like, I know Sony is doing some stuff for some of the Japanese games, but whether or not how much of it we don't know.
Yeah, Sony can cry all they want about this deal, but they're the ones who have been trying to bury Xbox entire last generation by scooping up all the marketing rights for all the big games that they can get and trying to buy exclusivity on third party AAA games. So this is it's really a check on Sony. Once they have this, it's really like, hey guys, like we're not going to take this game away from you, but if you if you get out of line, like we could, like just let's play fair, let's be nice. We're both making a lot of money here. There's no reason to try to kill each other.
Yeah.
And I think Phil Spencer embodies that, in reality and in his personal life, and then on Twitter, he says the next game he's looking forward to playing is
God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not about that console war. He's not about trying to bury PlayStation, right? So just like, hey guys, there's no let's have peace here. Like we're not trying to take this thing away from you. Like why? But then Sony goes and they make this statement saying that they think that Call of Duty has absolutely no rival. There's nothing that can compete with it. But in the same breath, they talk about how few publishers can make something like that, but then they name all the publishers making those rival games, like EA and Take-Two and Epic, games. So like,
Yeah.
it's not. They're just trying to. They obviously don't want the deal to happen because it puts Microsoft in a stronger position. Like I said, it gives them this
leverage,
this power leverage over them.
Yeah.
But Microsoft doesn't seem interested in using it the way that maybe Sony might fear they would.
Yeah, and you think a lot of this is also internet charged as well. All this talk of Sony taking games away from so and so, or Microsoft taking games away from so and so. All this speculation that's thrown up on the internet and stuff like that. I think it's a little bit blown out of proportion.
Oh yeah.
So,
Interesting note about all this information that came out. This was from was it Brazilian, I believe, sort of version of the FTC where they're trying to go over this deal. Yeah. And all the other companies that they asked these questions to did not have the same type of thing to say. Like they didn't say that, Call of Duty has no rival and that there's no one else can compete. Like they were like, no, it's not really a big deal. Like it's fine. Yeah. There's all these other games out there, Yeah. And it depends on who you are. I can understand why. Like the platform holder Sony is, like, they make a lot of money off of those games. These other guys don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But also, there's interesting if we want to talk about. They talk about Game Pass in there, and Sony specifically points out how Game Pass has captured 60 to 70% of the global subscription services market. And then they said that, the market share in Brazil is even higher, which represents, they said 70 to 80%, but they say of the PC subscription service market, which is kind of funny that they're like, let's mention specifically the PC subscription service market. But
interesting.
That is actually, I think, a more valid concern they have of, 60 to 70%. Let's cut the difference and say 65%. Of the global subscription service market in gaming is huge.
Yeah.
And there aren't a lot of rivals, so you could understand why that's the case, because your rivals are Ubisoft Plus, EA Play, and I guess now PlayStation. And PlayStation Now was the previous, in which now it's PlayStation Plus Extra Premium.
Yeah.
Which should get them a lot more subscribers and get them more of that share. That's what they're really afraid of. Like Call of Duty will help push that service to a point where Sony's not going to be able to compete, they think.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, I'm sorry, maybe just release your games day one into your service and then you can compete. I think you don't want,
that's going to happen. I think it's going to get to the point where it might not be until, like, say, Wolverine comes out or something like that, but they're going to get to a point where they're just going to... I'd love to be a fly in the wall over at the executive offices in Tokyo and listen to the Sony executives talk about what they're going to have to do to counter Game Pass and Microsoft and in that sense. And it's going to get to a point where first party exclusives are going to have to go day one to say either they're extra or premium services. Kind of like how we saw premium with the indie. Yeah. But like how we saw with the indie title Stray, but the big guns. Yeah. That's the only way they're going to continue to compete, I think.
I'm sure there's execs of Sony of America are trying with Sony of Japan. They've been having the
a lot of people out there. A lot of people out there say that PlayStation America, like in the Bay Area, they're its own entity and they are PlayStation. No, they answer to PlayStation of Japan, PlayStation in Tokyo, the executive offices. So just like back in the days with Sega, you had Sega Japan, you had Sega America. Sega America answered to Sega Japan. Sega Japan was the parent company. Sega in Tokyo, or I'm sorry, PlayStation in Tokyo is the parent company. So they would have to get the okay from out here in Tokyo. So, yeah.
I mean, things are changing with PlayStation, so it will probably happen one day.
Yeah.
Maybe not day one. Maybe they'll do what I hope they do first is 6 months out. These games will come. Just do something. Like, let me know any sort of consistent way that your first party games are coming to your streaming service. So right now you have no idea when and if these things will ever happen.
Yeah. Well, they're already starting
to hesitate to get the service.
Well, they're already starting to make some strides. I mean, look at how PlayStation Plus is this month compared to, say, like in previous months. I mean, they've got Yakuza Like a Dragon this month. They have Tony Hawk's Skater 1 and 2 on there now. So
those aren't on the extra service, the premium extra. Those are on the base service, and like that's weird. That's not the same thing. Yeah,
but at least they're making some small strides at making the service better. So yeah, we'll see.
I have to say that the big difference is that those games are available for this month, and that's it.
Right.
So if I later decided I want to subscribe to PlayStation Plus, I won't get those games.
No.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like that's why
that needs to be addressed. Yeah.
Yeah. I look at Game Pass as such a great value because like when you subscribe, anytime you subscribe, whenever you get to that service, you have this amazing library that most part will always be there and will continue to grow and change in those ways that we expect.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to say about like the FTC thing and like, is this a valid reason to make some sort of claim against Microsoft that they might corner the market on the streaming service? Mm-hmm. And I like I said, this is probably the strongest argument, but I don't think it's really a good argument because there's so many ways to access video games, right? Like physical releases, digital releases, just buying them straight out, right? Yeah. Versus subscribing to the services. That these services aren't exclusive.
Right.
You can access these things in different ways. It's not going to stop people from getting these games in any other way.
Right.
And will Microsoft have the control that market in some aspect? Well, yeah, somebody always does. Mm-hmm. Sony controls the console market more than Microsoft does currently.
Yeah.
Right. So Microsoft will control the subscription service market more than Sony does.
Yeah.
But it would be ridiculous to act like we could say that, the FTC should say, we're going to stop this to prevent the future of Microsoft having the predominant of the market, because that's like saying we should have stopped Netflix from having the predominant, amount of subscription services.
Yeah.
And you can see what's happening now where like, it doesn't matter because they're on the decline and everyone else is on the upstream.
Disney Plus, everybody.
These things change and shift over time. It doesn't mean if Microsoft has 100 million subscribers that PlayStation can't someday have 80 million.
Right.
And that would be fine. Both would be making money hand over fist at that point.
Right. All right. So that's been the topic of the show. So it's time to move on to our new game releases for the week for August 8th through the 14th. And due to alphabetical order of the picks that we have, of course, I will go first. So this week, of course, my pick of the week is Apex Legends. Yeah, of course, it's not a new game, but Season 14 is coming. Season 14 introduces the new hero Vantage to Apex Legends roster. The Kings Canyon map is also being tweaked, and the level cap is being increased. So the season officially commences on August 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time and 6 p.m. British Standard Time. So for Android, iOS, PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X, and a partridge in a pear tree. Yes.
Oh, that was cool. I like that big jump leap there.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. So I know my son will be playing this day one. So that's my pick of the week. So, and of course, that's, the Reforged Kings Canyon map update. And of course, Vantage, the new character. That's the cool thing about Apex is every season they have a new character and they have all these different abilities and stuff. So,
I love that type of thing. That was like League of Legends. They always had new characters coming in.
Yeah.
If I was going to play one of these type of games, it would be Apex. That's the one I would most likely want to try.
Oh yeah. I mean, out here in Japan, it's like Apex is more towards the junior high school and up ages, whereas junior high school and elementary school kids are still playing a lot of Fortnite. So,
that was cool animation.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look, Titanfall. I thought Titanfall was a really fun game to play, and this obviously that's the DNA of this game. So
yeah, there is an advantage there with your sniper. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. So next up, I think it's Burley. You're up next. What do you got for us? What's your pick of the week?
Cult of the Lamb. Mm-hmm. Start your own cult in a land of false prophets, venturing out into diverse and mysterious regions to build a loyal community of woodland worshipers and spread your word to become the one true cult. It's coming Thursday, August 11th to PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series.
Nice.
I love the art style on this. It's like, come on, play this. You get to make your own cult. What's not the love?
It looks cute. Is it sort of like Zelda?
Kind of like Don't Starve
gameplay.
Yeah, it's kind of like Don't Starve.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is.
It was a Game Pass game.
Yeah.
Easiest way to say it. Well,
just like saying it. You just like saying Game Pass. I get it.
Well, it's a fun word to say. It is a fun word.
Yeah. And what platforms is this on again, Burley? What platforms? Can you repeat that?
Sure. PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. This is on everything.
Nice.
And probably on your smart fridge too.
All right. Okay, Carl, you're up next. What do you got for us this week? What's your pick of the week?
2 Point Campus coming on August 9th. PC, PlayStation, Switch, Xbox. It's time to spin academia on its head. Got a yearning for learning? Or just keen to build an educational masterpiece? Campus is jam-packed with new creative tools to help you build the university of your dreams. For the first time, build in the great outdoors as you develop your own delightfully educational and campus environment, housing the top teaching facilities in the land. Whether you prefer building on simple foundations or placing every tree, you can build the university you want. Lay down pathways with this new, easy-to-use tools. Plant glorious collections of outdoor flora. Place benches, fountains, sculptures, hedgerows, even picket fences. The only limit is your imagination and your in-game bank balance.
Nice.
Yeah, this is the next game after 2 Point Hospital, another one of these sort of more specific sim type games. Mm-hmm. And they're always fun. I like these type of things. I haven't played the last one. I installed 2 Point Hospital, and then we never really ended up playing it. My wife was going to try to play it because she likes those type of sim things sometimes, but we just didn't have the time.
Nice.
This one, maybe, yes, the 9th, maybe I'll try it. Although I'm going to jump into a different game. What we'll mention in the Game Pass releases.
Yeah. And speaking of Game Pass releases, let's go ahead and get to that. So, Carl, what do we have for the first part of August for Game Pass?
All right. We have, available now is Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yay. I want to play that again.
Yeah. Across all the platforms.
Yeah.
Then on, this is available already now, is Shenzhen IO. Mm-hmm. This is on PC only. Then Turbo Golf Racing as well, available now on all the platforms.
Nice.
And when I say that, I mean
good old Rocket
PC
League
console. yeah, that one, right? Yeah. Is this? I guess this is. Yeah, this is available day one. So this is a new release, right? Is it just coming out?
I thought it was already out, but I might be. Turbo Golf Racing. That is, it's a new release because it came out 2 days ago.
Cool.
Nice.
And then another day one new release into Game Pass is 2 Point Campus on August 9th.
Yep.
And then,
Which is your pick of the week? Yeah.
my pick of the week on all the platforms. Cooking Simulator on August 11th. Which I don't know what that one looks like, but you know what? These simulator games are sometimes pretty damn fun.
With an animated version of Anson Mount as Captain Pike.
Oh, yeah, you know what? That'd be a nice crossover. I would love it.
Yeah, I mean, just have like this like cameo, like Star Trek Strange New Worlds, because for all of you out there that probably haven't watched Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the Captain Pike, in a lot of the episodes, he's cooking. He's like a cooking connoisseur. So yeah, you'd be great for Cooking Simulator.
Yeah. And then the game that I am interested in trying is Expeditions Rome on August 11th. That's PC only.
Mhm.
This is a turn-based tactical RPG based in a historical Rome setting. This is one that I had as like one of my picks of the week, like a long time ago on PC, and I'm excited. I will definitely jump into that next. And then Off-World Trading Company. I don't know anything about this one on PC only. August 11th. Could be interesting. I don't know. I got to see what that looks like. Oh, it's an RTS. Okay, Mars colonization thing. All right. And then there's a couple of smaller things here. I thought it's interesting on the Xbox Wire, just to, like now that they're mentioning stuff like DLC and game updates. So like Citizen Sleepers getting episode 1 Flux available now. That's a free update. Sniper Elite 5 says Landing Force Mission and Weapon Pack available now. So a new multiplayer map that's on there for free. And then Sea of Thieves Season 7, just out now as well.
Nice.
Also part of Game Pass.
Nice. Yep.
So there you go.
All right. Okay. So
Lots
that's
of good stuff.
Lots of good stuff. So the first half of August, and of course we'll have another batch coming for the second half of August, and we'll be bringing that to you as well. So yeah, it's good stuff, man. All righty. All right, so it's time to talk about some of our programming notes. Of course, we're going to be, after this episode of the podcast, we're going to be recording our review episode of Thor: Love and Thunder. And then, of course, later in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing recap episodes of She-Hulk when they come out on Disney Plus, as well as House of the Dragon. When that starts on the 21st, we're going to be doing a preview episode on the 20th for our new fantasy discussion portal series. So we're really looking forward to bringing that to you. So House of the Dragon, of course, the show that takes, or the story that takes place about 200 years before the Game of Thrones story. So of House Targaryen. So we're looking forward to bringing that to you as well. So, yeah, exciting
She-Hulk.
times.
She-Hulk moved to Thursdays.
Okay. So from the 18th, I think it is, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy about that because I didn't want Andor and She-Hulk to be running on Wednesdays, like dropping on Wednesdays. That was so annoying that they did that with Kenobi and Miss Marvel.
Yeah. Well, and of course, Andor was postponed. It was originally supposed to start on August 31st, but it was postponed to September 21st. And the first 3 episodes will launch on day 1. So, we'll be busy with that. So, looking forward to Andor. A lot to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, what? How many episodes, Carl? I think 12 or is it Andor?
10, I believe.
10.
It was 10.
Okay. 10.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
And this is the strategy that I think works the best in a lot of these shows. When you have a 10 episode season, a lot like Amazon does this and Hulu does this a lot, where they drop 3 on day 1, and then go week to week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because if it's 12 episodes, then you still have 9 full weeks of just single episodes. So it's a long.
It's 12 of season 1, 12 of season 2. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they extended out too far week to week. That would be a problem, which is why we talked about Daredevil, like 18 episodes. Like, there's just no way that they're going to run 18 episodes week to week. Like, they're going to have to either split it up or drop a bunch, 3
Yeah.
here, do the rest week to week, drop 3 here. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, we shall see. But anyway, we'll be covering all of that for you when they come out. So look forward to that. Yeah. So, of course, hit those like and subscribe buttons. And, of course, that notification bell, because when we drop episodes of She-Hulk and, for example, Andor and House of the Dragon, you will be notified of when we drop those episodes out for you. So, all right. So it's time to talk about what we're going to be playing this next week. Carl, I'll start with you. What are you going to play?
All right, ready to set. Expeditions in Rome is the game I'm gonna jump into.
Okay.
I'm ready to download and play that.
Cool.
I don't know if I will try 2 Point Campus, maybe, because it's a couple days, it's a day or so before. Maybe we'll see if I jump into that real quick. And that's those type of games, like you can lose so much time in a game like that. And I don't have that kind of time right now. But if I did, I would definitely be playing those type of things.
Yeah, well, me as well, because all the content that we're doing and stuff, and I'm doing all the editing work and everything for all the content that we do here on the Arena production. So time is limited when it comes to gaming, but I think I'm going to try that Expeditions Rome, Carl. I think that might be an interesting game. I'm going to try that, I think.
You're a history guy. You should like it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I majored in Japanese history, but I minored in Roman history. So.
Oh, cool.
So good stuff. Either the Roman Republic or the Roman Empire, whichever. Yeah, but so, and then as dusk falls, I want to try to finish my second game playthrough. So anyway. Burley, how about you? What are you going to be playing this next week?
Well, keep streaming the Quarry and Triangle strategy, because I've had a lot of fun with both those. But on personal time, keep up with my Fall Guys daily, because I'm addicted to that. But nice. I also...
Where are you playing Fall Guys?
I play either on my Switch or on my PlayStation.
Okay.
Nice. So,
it's like, I guess, cross progression, right?
Yeah, that's the nice thing, because it all signs in with my one account on all, so it's nice. So, like, if I'm at my apartment, but, like, if I was at my parents', I can bring my Switch, hop in, get my dailies done, and track for the weekly and the season progression, too.
Burley, you could bring your Series S, too.
I could, but that doesn't matter. I know.
But it's small, it's easy to move.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. That it is, but the Switch is a little more portable.
I forget. You can hook that up to a TV.
Yeah.
I forgot. Although you'll get like super low res, but all right.
Hey, you get 480i.
Ah, beautiful.
Beautiful. All right. Okay, to end the show, it's time for our indie recording artist spotlight. So this week's spotlight is on Icarus. Icarus's music-making process begins with audio and later turns into something visual. Inspired by the French new disco, electro scene, synthwave, and 80s sci-fi movies, Icarus tries to incorporate his influences in both the audio and visuals he creates. From his album titled Dancing in the Dark, and the song is called Chasing Stars. So this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 98. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. We hope to catch you in the next one. So take care, everyone. Peace out.